And then they kissed. Mwah. Oh, why hello there. Oh, this thing behind me? Well, your eyes do not deceive you. A male beta is living happily with some Celestial Pearl Danios. Some of you are probably like, how could this be? I thought male betas are super aggressive killing machines that will murder any living thing in sight. Well, that is partially true. But before I start explaining, I think it's first important to go back and show you guys how this tank came to be. It all started kinda long ago when I was visiting my fish store. I don't even remember why I was there. I was just looking at what they had. Specifically, I noticed that they had a nice batch of Celestial Pearl Danios available, a species that I've always wanted to keep. Until suddenly, a worker came up to me and said, "Hey there, I see you're interested in these fancy fishy fishies. Did you know that you can keep them with a male beta?" And at that moment, an idea came over me. An idea that will change me forever. I decided to set up a Celestial Pearl Danio and beta tank. I mean, it's such an awesome idea, right? Having two of the most beautiful freshwater species together in the same tank? I mean, how could I say no to such an opportunity? Starting off, I got this pretty cool 10-gallon tank. And I would say that's the minimum tank size you want to get if you're going to cohabitate betas and Danios. Surely you wouldn't go under that, now would you? This is the primary decoration for the tank, a nice piece of wood. It came from a previous tank, that's why the bucket is so dirty. The piece is actually made up of many smaller pieces that I've glued together to get this cool branching effect. The piece is also in a bucket filled with water so that the wood would absorb all the water, which would cause it to not float. I mean, wood floating is such a pain. Now to place it just right. Just like in that video, I'm going to do a half soil, half sand setup. I just really like that look. I like keeping plants, but I don't like the bottom to just be soil. So that's why I'm doing this setup. It's a good setup, man, I'm telling you. The barrier between the sand and soil sections will be the same as it was in that video. These black diamond lava stones, which I had to break into smaller pieces. Also, this is the aquarium glue that I use to glue the wood together, or mount some plants. Here's a little sneak peek at what's to come. But here's the sand I will use. It's nothing special. It's just typical white aquarium sand. The sand is wet because I rinsed it so that it wouldn't cloud up the tank. The soil is the usual fluval stratum. Ooh, bioactive. I am using a stick to even out the soil because I think we know what happens when you use your fingers. Wow, isn't it beautiful? I first added a bit of water to make planting the plants easier. I don't recommend planting after you filled up the tank. Oh no, the memories. The first plants are these small crypts, or cryptocorenes. Cryptocorenes? Is that how you say it? I think so. Then it's these sword plants. I don't remember which sword this is. All that I can remember that it's not one of those giant sword plants like the Amazon sword. Oh man. The tallest plant that I'm going to be adding are these beautiful hydrophilia plants. These ones have pink tips at the top, but only if your light's strong enough though. Just adding a bit more water. Next are these species of small ferns, followed by some small Anubias species. These types of plants don't have to be planted in soil. Looks better already. Now just to fill it up. For the filter, I got this small hang-on back filter from Amazon. The reason why I chose a hang-on back filter versus a sponge filter is because a sponge filter is way too big, takes up too much space, and in my opinion, it's ugly. But it has its uses. Wait, you idiot. This filter is too small for your tank. Yes. I chose a smaller filter because I didn't want there to be too much flow. Because bettas are not good swimmers, and I read somewhere that Celestial Danios prefer gentle flow. For the light, I went with this twin star light. I think it's the 30B version. It's a pretty good light. That's a lot of bubbles. Just cleaning the sand. Everything has to be perfect. Of course, can't forget to add the live bacteria to cycle the tank. Now, we just wait. My. Look at what we have here. A box. A very special box. And I think we should cut this box open. And look, it's the first batch of Celestial Pearl Danios. Unfortunately, I did lose one during shipping, but let's get them acclimated. But before that, tank update. The crypts look like they're dying, but that's normal. In a new environment, they lose their old leaves and grow new ones eventually. But I must admit, there is a bit of algae growing everywhere. There they go. Now I just have to wait like 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, they are ready. Now just to add them in. This is very exciting. They look very beautiful, but they are also very stressed out. They will get much darker and prettier once they get used to the environment. Quick update, the crypts are growing back. The algae is still there, but the Danios are doing well. The sand section is looking a bit empty though. So I decided to add this cool plant that doesn't need soil, like ferns or Anubias. But I forgot the name of this plant. Looks awesome though. Looks much more full now. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. The beta. And this is my beautiful male Avatar Betta. Isn't he just beautiful? I actually had this beta for a very long time, so he's quite old by beta standards. And unfortunately he does have some kind of growth on his head. Wait a minute, who is this? You can't trick me. This isn't the same beta from the thumbnail or the start of the video, you silly. You are correct, this isn't the same beta. And you guys are going to find out why. But before that, I want to explain how this can even work. How can a male, aggressive beta live with Celestial Pearl Danios, or any other fish for that matter? Well, it's quite simple. Male betas mostly are just aggressive to each other. They hate each other and will kill each other. So you want to make sure that you don't have any fish with long fins that can potentially look like another beta, like guppies. But betas can still be aggressive to other fish, even if they don't look like them, like Danios. So the key here is to have a lot of them, so that the beta will be pretty much overwhelmed, plus it's hard to single out a Danio in a big group. And the Danios are much faster than the beta, so if the beta tries to catch them, he won't. He can't. And eventually the beta will just kinda get used to their presence and stop being aggressive at all. That's what I've seen from my experience. Here's an example. Here the beta tries to get a Danio, but fails. And after the first few days together, I've never once seen this behavior again. And they lived completely peacefully together from then on. Man, they look really good together. And here is the second batch of Danios. Hopefully they will do good as well. Alright, here's the sad news. That avatar beta did end up passing away before I got to complete this video. The bump on the side of his head did start to get a lot worse and eventually kind of ruptured or something. I'm not sure what happened, but the beta did pass away from that. But on a brighter note, the rest of the tank is doing very well. The plants are growing. I even added some new plants. These are mini Amazon swords. The best sword plant. Before I go on to introduce the next beta, I mean, you already know how he looks like, I wanted to let you guys know about my experiences with the Celestial Pearl Danios. Because I heard a lot of mixed things about them. I heard that they are hard, I heard that they are easy. From my experience, they're an easy fish after a certain point. Right now I have 9 Celestial Pearl Danios, and I have not lost or gotten any new Danios for months now. It's been the same 9 Celestial Pearl Danios, and they are doing super well. They are very hardy, never stressed, will honestly try to eat anything. I primarily feed them crushed bug bite flakes. You want to make sure that the food can actually fit in their tiny mouths. They have very small mouths. And they each have their own personalities. Like there are 2 Danios that love to stay near the back of the tank, and it's always the same Danios. And I have one that is lighter than the rest. At first I thought she was stressed out, but no, she's simply a lighter color. The only time I've ever lost some Danios was during shipping or during the first few weeks in a new tank. I noticed that when they are out of their usual environment, they become extremely sensitive and prone to dying, especially during shipping. But once they are settled in their new tank, like a month after being introduced, they become incredibly easy fish to keep. So my overall experience with them is great. And this is my new beta. Yep, I just couldn't resist. I got another avatar. The avatars are my favorite beta. And it comes with some cool floaters. Look at him. Isn't he just beautiful? He is bigger than my last one. Absolutely gorgeous. And I am very excited to add him to the tank. First, gotta acclimate him for 20 minutes. Just look at him. He's so cool looking. Oh my god. Now to add him in. Just like the first one, he is doing super well, and doesn't bother the Danios. I am just obsessed with him. He is so beautiful. At first, he did try to chase some of the Danios, but just like how I explained earlier, he realized that he can never catch them. Now he just does his thing, and leaves the Danios alone. I am very happy with the tank. Very happy with the Celestial Pearl Danios and very happy with the Avatar Beta. They all look amazing together, and I'm so glad that they are able to cohabitate. Hopefully, you learned something today. Or not. Bye.